Hello and welcome to the Birth of Her Smile Part 3. I just want to quickly recap what I did in Part 2, just reminding you, if you had been watching, that I went on to compete in the World Championships in Dubai and managed to win 2 silver medals for Australia. Now, this was really, really, really important to me because this was the third country I was living in. I had kind of lost who I was, didn't know who I was or where I belonged anymore. And suddenly I had won some medals for Australia and I came back feeling like an Australian, that Australia was home, and it was the most amazing experience. It was so very, very good for the rebuilding of me. I also managed to get back on stage for the first time in 32 years in musical theatre. I had done professional musical theatre as a young teenager, and now I was doing it musical theatre as an adult here in Canberra. It was so much fun, and again, just rebuilding who I was. And then remember, I'm trying to make myself global financial crisis free. So I'm not a businesswoman, I'm a ballerina. So I'm trying to build a business and trying to learn business. So I thought if I could have, try and make myself crisis free by building a business that had more than one thing to offer, then I would be stronger. So I refreshed my makeup qualifications and I traveled the world as a makeup artist. So I was feeling like I was getting there, feeling very strong and rebuilding myself. And I heard about this incredible young lady called Alyssa Azar. Now, I don't know if you have heard of her, but she is the youngest Australian to summit Everest. And yes, it was a woman who completed this, achieved this, and we're so proud of her. And she's actually done it twice. So she did it first when she was 21. And I met her just after it. So here she's 21, but she went on to do it again at the age of 22. So we're very proud of her. And here I am standing at the highest peak in Australia with her in the Kosciuszkos. And I had heard about her offering with her dad this amazing adventure to do the 10 peaks of Australia. And so it was actually done on the Australia Day weekend. And off we went. It was a very small team, as you can see, just a small group of us going. And we covered on the first day 35 kilometers in 14 hours. I can't tell you how hard that was. It was probably the hardest thing I've ever done in my life, because it wasn't on the road and there were no paths. We were off the beaten track. We were in the mountains. We were in the rocks. We were just in the scrub. It was really rough. We were surrounded by flies. But I just had so much fun. As you can see, we're all smiling, really, really enjoying ourselves. And it just so happened that I actually, because Glenn, Alyssa's father, he made all the food that we carried in our backpacks, and I actually had a Vegemite sandwich to eat on Australia Day in the Australian mountains. What an incredible experience that was. It was so much fun. Incredibly hard work, and probably one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. I had no idea what lay ahead, nothing. I didn't know what was involved, and we were crossing rivers, we were climbing in the mountains and in the rocks. As I say, I had to really face a lot of fears to complete this, and I realized that there was no going back. I had to keep going no matter what, because there was no way out but to keep going. So I did, and really, really enjoyed myself. And what we experienced here was a lot of wind. It was 80-kilometer winds, and it was really, really tough. And I really battled to keep one foot in front of the other and not feel as though I was being blown off the mountain. And Alyssa was telling us, that's me here, that's Alyssa there. She was telling us that when she was summiting Everest the first time, she faced 120-kilometer winds, and we can't even imagine how she managed to keep herself on the ground there. But she just said, you're so close to the top, you'll just do whatever you have to do to get there, braving all the elements and incredible mental strength. And so we learned so much from her about her resilience, and an absolute awe of this young woman and her ability and personal strength. Now I'm going to tell you about our something that my husband and I have done, and that's we've hosted cooking circles here in Canberra, making food for the community, and we shared the South African vetkoek meal, which is very delicious here, and then we shared the South African bobotie on another event. And the reason why I'm telling you was that it happened in February, and I had been challenged by one of my friends to compete and participate in Handstand February, which is an international thing, and what you do is you have to do a handstand every day for the month of February. So I was very brave, and I thought I'd start off with a headstand, and then got really courageous and started doing the handstands. But what I did was I went on to do many, and it just so happened in that month of February, I had a conference to attend. So I was doing one there. We went down to the beach. We went all over. Here I am with my son-in-law and doing variations. And so I submitted my images into a competition for handstands, and I actually managed to win a pair of parallettes for my then business, which was Smile Fitness. Now, I had wanted to create something, I had said I wanted to create something positive for my family, not realizing that I would end up having a business with the name Smile in it. And at this stage, it was called Smile Fitness. I then heard about Scotty Everett. Now, he was the mental coach for Alyssa when she climbed Everest. And I heard about this course that he was giving, a 48-hour, basically a weekend of training. That's the way I saw it. And so I signed up and off I went. I didn't realize that it was actually a course for men, or for anyone who wanted to get into the Australian Special Forces, because Scotty himself is ex-Special Forces. He was with the Special Forces for 8 years. So I decided to, so there I was. I had no idea what lay ahead, what I had signed myself up for. On the Friday night, we were just sort of got to know one another, had some training, and woke up the next morning to a grueling day of hard work and training for 12 hours. We were put through all kinds of different ways of exercising and strengthening ourselves mentally. And it was a very, I enjoyed that day very much. And then that evening, we were issued combat uniforms, and we were put into teams, and we were told to go and sleep upstairs. Now, I had arrived with my lady's suitcase, my mattress to sleep on, and my sleeping bag, because I didn't know what this entailed. All these gentlemen had arrived with duffel bags. Now, just know that I was the only woman, and there were 15 men on this course, and I didn't know that, of course, when I got there. And so here we were, and I was being treated like everyone else. We were told to go and sleep upstairs on the mats that were upstairs where they had their jiu-jitsu classes. We could go and sleep upstairs on the mats and with our sleeping bags, but we had to put our uniform out next to us, and we had to sleep in a circle in our team as if we were in war, out in the war fields. And so up I went upstairs and slept with all these guys in their, on our mattresses, in our sleeping bags, with our uniforms next to us, not knowing what was going to happen the next day. 4:45 the next morning, our trainers came running through, our coaches, they came running through with whistles, woke us up, and we were told that we had 60 seconds to pack up all our gear, roll up our sleeping bags, roll up our mattresses, get into our uniforms, and be downstairs with our gear, our bags. These clever guys had bags. I had a lady's suitcase and mattress and sleeping bag next to us on the floor. If we didn't get it right, we would have to redo it until we did. So we did, and we did it the first time. And of course, we didn't make it in 60 seconds. So we were made to go back upstairs, get back into our pajamas, get back inside the sleeping bags, get back on our mattresses, have our uniforms back out as they were, and pretend we were asleep. Then they ran in again, and this whole thing went over and over and over until we got it downstairs in 60 seconds. Eventually, we were just throwing everything over the balcony to get it down, including my suitcase that everybody by now hated, and we were ready within 60 seconds. We were then issued backpacks with 10 kilograms of sand in them, and we were issued makeshift rifles. These rifles weighed 5 or 10 kilograms. We were then made to stand outside, and we were hosed down with hose pipes until we were completely drenched, including the sand, which was 10 kilograms in our backpacks. And then we were told that these rifles were not allowed to touch the ground. We were then told that we had to run 3.5 kilometers to the beach in our teams, which we did. We got there. We were made to do most incredible things, and one of them was to run up and down these sand dunes, and the rifles weren't allowed to touch the ground. If they did, then they would be counting the amount of penalty burpees that we would have to do when we got back to HQ at the end of the day. We were then made to run on the beach and stand in our teams. We were allowed to put our rifles down, and we were given a protein bar that we had to share between the 8 of us in the team. We were then made to run into the sea and lie with our backs to the water, and while the waves came over our heads. But look, I couldn't stop smiling. I just thought this was hilarious, everything we were doing, even though it was really hard on the body, as you can imagine. We were then told to get our rifles, we've got our backpacks on, and we were made to leopard crawl across the beach. Now, it was at least a half a kilometer that we had to leopard crawl across the beach. And we were told that when we got to the end of that the whole course would be over, and we would be taken back to headquarters for lunch. Well, not for lunch, for our meal in the afternoon, because it was, by now it was afternoon. When we completed the leopard crawl, let me tell you how hard that was. It took forever. We were then told to take off our, get ourselves comfortable, rinse ourselves off because we were covered in sand. And I was looking around for a bus that was obviously going to transport us all back to headquarters, and that was when we were told that we had to run the 3.5 kilometers back to headquarters, and our guns were not allowed to touch the ground. We got back, we were told that our food would be ready for us because we hadn't eaten except for the protein bar. We'd drunk a lot of water, but we were told that our food would be ready when we got back. So when we got back, they were waiting for us, and Scotty actually ran up to me and screamed in my face that I had to do, that we all had to do 72 penalty burpees. We were then hosed down again with hose pipes while we were doing these burpees. And let me tell you, I was absolutely finished by then, but I managed to complete the course. And also, let me tell you that 2 of these men didn't. They bailed. So, and I finished, and I was 55 years old in this course, and I was the oldest of these guys by at least 10 years. I was the oldest there. So I was so proud of myself and was completely panel beaten, as you can see. I was bruises from head to toe, but what a sense of achievement. It was incredible. Okay, so how was I doing with protecting myself from the global financial crisis? I now had the fitness side of the business complete with some credits to my name. I had the beauty side of my business complete with some credits to my name. What did the business need next? And so I went on and did the professional styling diploma. Because I had now this hard body from the bodybuilding and all this training that I'd been doing and the correct way of eating, my body was really hard, and it was so much fun. So really muscular and so much fun to dress. And so I did my professional diploma in styling, because I just felt that when the ladies came to me, they could do the complete journey of exercise, weight loss, beauty, and then styling. And because I would really get to know them well, and their bodies, of course. So I did some work experience with the TV presenter Trish Murray. What an incredible opportunity this was to prepare the styling for the autumn range of 2016 here in the Westfields, Woden and Belconnen in Canberra, and working with the models. And it was amazing opportunity to get the styling under my belt. And then I went on and created my own unique color personality experience, because colors say a lot about you. They also make you feel completely different, whichever colors you choose to wear. And so I have this incredible service that I offer now, where I help you discover the correct colors to wear for you and who you are, to influence who you would like to be or who you really would like to feel you are. And then I managed to get a fabulous gig through Global Hair and Makeup, where I was published as a stylist in an international fashion magazine for styling the Harbour Bridge Couture in Sydney. And so, as I say, what an opportunity, and really, really enjoyed this. And again, managed to get myself published in this third element that I was offering in my business. And now I could offer it all. And this is one of my clients, Michelle. She has done a complete journey with me with the weight loss, the fitness, the toning. I actually did her spray tan for her wedding. This wedding, she had this wedding dress that had been hanging around for 7 years, and she wanted to marry her fiance, but their marriage had been put on hold because she fell pregnant and she couldn't fit into this wedding dress. And so 7 years later, she lost the weight. They planned their wedding, and she actually had to have this wedding dress taken in. I also did the makeup for her wedding, and I also did her makeup and styled her for this image. And so the complete journey through my business, that I now had 3 elements, but it was still not called Her Smile. I went on and also managed to get published as an author with 299 other women around the world, a book of inspiration for women, a page a day, to make up a page for every day of the year. So that was incredible opportunity. And just so that you know, I am very keen with my hands. I make, dressmaking. I made myself this jacket. I'm felting. I made this felting from raw pieces of yarn and then of sheep's wool, and then I also made this lampshade. So I make lots of things, but this is just an illustration of the sort of things I do with my hands. I also give inspirational talks to women to inspire them from what my personal experiences and everything that I've been through in my life. I do that around the country, and I just wanted to illustrate to you here how I have done training with the best when it comes to fitness. I've got this training. I have my own personal trainer, Billy Giampalo. He's also Mr. Australasia and held the deadlifting world championship title for many years. Here I am with Scotty Evans, the Ninja Warrior, where I did that grueling 48-hour warrior immersion course. He's also the mental coach for Alyssa Azar for climbing Mount Everest. I also did some training with Lou Ferrigno, the Incredible Hulk. And I did some training with Ashley Borden, who is the celebrity trainer for Christina Aguilera, Reese Witherspoon, and the Kardashians. So I have traveled the world learning from the best to bring my clients the best, but it was still not her smile. So what did I do next? And that is what you'll learn in part 4 and the final part of our journey to creating this fabulous female brand. And thank you for being with me and listening to my journey.